Hi, this is Maria's Universe and welcome to our informal cup of tea and thoughts about the universe. So today I thought that we can have a cup of tea together and chat a little bit about the notion of time in our life. And I've always been quite fascinated by this thing, this concept called time, and I feel differently about it through different times of my life. And I'm coming more and more to the conclusion that there is no time, and that time is such an elusive concept that was given to us for some reason. We learned it as children that we need to follow the time, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, day, night. But essentially, it's such a elastic concept, isn't it? It's not really what we think about it, because sometimes time goes very, very, very slowly, as you know, and sometimes time goes really fast. And, sometimes we need to snatch time, carpe diem, catch the moment. I certainly believe that time is a man-made concept, the earthly time as such, the hours, 8, 9, 10. This is really to make us maybe feel more organized, to make us cooperate, interact with each other in an easier way, meet, have meetings, have gatherings, have businesses. But really, when we step a little bit outside of that concept, I feel that it becomes a little bit easier. And at some point of my life, I decided that I'm not going to wear a watch anymore. I never really had it, but sometimes, somebody will give you as a present. And I just realized that, no, I want to forget about the concept of time, and I want to create my own time zone, independent from other people and from other institutions. I really don't want to fit into this. And since then, I tried to look less and less at time. Of course, now it's very difficult to avoid it because you have a mobile phone just in front of you, shining the time at all times. Interestingly, letting you know you haven't done this or that. But generally, I really, really like when I don't have the time, when I don't need to think about time, when I'm free, and it's nothing more annoying for me than somebody tells me, oh, you've got 1 hour to do it, or I'll see you after this time, I don't think I can fit into a particular time frame. It's difficult, and I think everything is so flowy. It doesn't have to be that long or that short. It is what it is, right? It is how long it takes us. And I feel that when we enter this dimension of timelessness, this is where we create better, this is where we really listen to our creative flow. We're not restricted by any limits, and we forget ourselves in it. And I really like this sensation. So when I work with energy creation, for example, I write different exercises for energy creation. I'm compiling a big book of exercises at the moment, which takes time. The best work I produce always when I don't look at the clock. And I just go into it and I forget. And then the moment I forget about this illusion of time, then I begin to feel the energy even more, even better. So in a way, you're turning off your mind, right? The conscious mind, and you start to connect with the space around you, with this invisible light around you. When the objects start to speak, when you feel things, you feel what you need to do. This is my favorite state for sure. And timelessness, I think, helps in it. A very interesting subject, and I'm constantly thinking about it, is the past. I'm a person who is a bit nostalgic. My father is very nostalgic. I think I inherited this gene, which is quite funny, really, because I remember so well things from the past. It's just like it happened just now, just 1 second ago. Certain events in my life, not all of them, of course, but certain events of my life, which, for example, I really enjoyed, like certain times I went on holiday when I was younger and, fell in love, of course. And things like that, when it was very light and very flowy, very uplifting. I still feel it as though it's happening to me now. And whenever I enter a dimension when I'm not on that wavelength, I become very nostalgic about the time when I was on that wavelength. So what I'm saying is that does time really exist in terms of the past as well? in terms of what happened, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, or is it really happening now? And throughout my regression work, I found that yes, there is no time and everything happens at the same time. It's a simultaneous game in many different dimensions, many different places, but we as human beings, we perceive it linearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to see life in like shots, like shots of the movie. Film this, and we turn our head. Okay, this is my kitchen, beautiful. Okay, this is a garden, this is a house. And we build that sequence. But maybe if we were not in that, three-dimensional state, in the physical body, maybe we wouldn't need that. We will just have this all-encompassing eye and see everything at the same time. So, yes, I had that coming back to that time. I had this particular period of my life, a very short 2 weeks. We experienced a very strong connection. It was through love, and it was also through some energy, some very unusual energy that I felt, very uplifting, very high. Sometimes I get those sensations about that time. It comes to me again, and I really feel as though it's happening now. And it's very weird, it's very, very strange. But I feel as though part of me is still operating there in those moments. So I often wonder, how can we go back there? Can we go back? Can we re-experience it? Maybe in our physical body or maybe in our consciousness. I know about past life regression, of course, we can go and see it with our eyes. But what I mean is more serious traveling, like real traveling. Can we go back completely with our consciousness and live that through again? And there are certain things I want to fix there. And that led me, the fact that I haven't finished something back then, led me to constantly think about time travel in my life, and led me to think, well, if only I could go back. If only I could go back and say what I need to say or do what I need to do. And part of me believes that it is possible. So in my dreams, I very often would do that. I'll go back in time. I will ask a special power. I talk to this power in my dreams and I say, now I'll go back to that place, that time, now. And if I'm lucky enough, if I feel light enough, I'm being taken there. And then I try to fulfill whatever I haven't. I do believe if we train our consciousness enough, we can go back in time. And we can maybe rectify or maybe just re-experience something or relearn something that we need to relearn. So I find that in that sense, a regression, whether past life regression or just meditation, can help, because you can go back in time and you can re-experience, you can understand what you've been feeling, you can release certain things, you can learn from it, and sometimes maybe you can affect even the past time. So for example, you can send love to it from this moment, you can say certain things that you didn't say, and maybe energy-wise it will affect that timeline that you've had, because energy is everywhere and time and space is everywhere, right? So if we affect one point in time right now, it may affect the point of time in the past. So that was, yes, what I was learning. And if we think about that, if everything happens simultaneously, then maybe our future also is happening simultaneously, and it's happening somewhere now, here. And obviously we can affect it too, as we know, with manifestation, energy creation. We can send our energy and pull different strings and ask for the reality to show in a particular way. So I see it as a big crossing of dimensions, many dimensions, not just 1, 2, 3, millions of dimensions. And for some reason we are finding ourselves in this point of time, right here, right now, at this crossing of dimensions. And every second, as we make a choice, we're moving into a next dimension, into a different one, maybe a neighbor dimension, maybe another one. But it's a constant motion, and I think it's much, much, much more diverse than people realize. People talk about new Earth, old Earth. I think it's many different Earths, to be honest. It's much, much bigger. And that energy connection with that shot, film shot where you want to be, can help you to jump into there easily, because if you can imagine it, then part of your energy automatically travels there, right? I think we can also heal time, which is quite an unusual concept, but it's been coming to me lately quite a lot. Work with the energy of time on its own and communicate with the energy of time, imagining that it's like a living being, it's a person, it's something we can talk to, and then send it some healing and send it some energy, so maybe it can cooperate with us better. So perhaps if you encounter that you don't have enough time, which is very common, of course, we want to do so many things and sometimes time finishes quickly, maybe you can ask the time to slow down, or ask the time to stretch a bit, to give you more opportunities to finish what you need to do. And I believe that time will do that, because universe responds to our requests, right? It's a very, again, elastic thing. Whatever we put in there, this vibration emanates and operates there. So it brings us back something, some energy that we asked for. For example, have so many wishes to write, so many ideas what I want to write. I've written already many short stories, and I've written a book which hasn't yet been published. Still, I have so many things, and sometimes I get a bit stressed that, oh my god, I haven't got enough time. Okay, I'm a certain age now and I've lived already part of my life, and what if, I get distracted? What if I just live my life in a very small scale, start doing just normal things every day, forget about my purpose? I sometimes feel that inspiration comes to me and then it goes if I get distracted by the routine of life. So I'm kind of, with time, I feel that we really need to work with it, and we need to stretch it, and we need to allow ourselves to don't feel the pressure of time, to not be dictated by some imaginary illusion of time running out and things like that, because essentially it's eternity, isn't it? It's this moment of consciousness where we project ourselves here now and we see ourselves here now, but we place some sort of labels on it, but it's just a moment, it's just an eternity, a moment of consciousness. When I was a little girl, some episodes from my life, I know it, I can feel it, I know it's happening somewhere here, and I feel like, I've been tricked to believe that I've grown now, that I'm in a different body now, slightly, yes, so I'm in a different situation, in a different place. But part of me believes that I haven't changed, and that nothing has changed, that it's the same thing, but it just keeps flickering different types, how can I say, different backgrounds, different circumstances around me. Sometimes I even feel that, this will sound a bit strange, that people in my life, they're all actually just one person who shows themselves in different aspects all the time. So, sometimes we get inklings like that, like you met a person in the past and then you meet another person and there is a connection there, or they tell you a similar thing. And I know it's a bit far-fetched, but part of me believes that, okay, this is just, it's my consciousness, and these people who appear in my life, they are reflecting parts of my consciousness, and maybe it's just one energy which flickers, like a lighthouse. It flickers, okay, today it's this person, today, I don't know, it's my husband, tomorrow it's my mother, third day it's my father, but essentially they come all from the same source, like from the same energy. And I like thinking about that in these terms, because this really helps me to stretch myself out of this reality. I really zoom out at this moment when I think, and I feel, wow, I wonder why these flickers appear in my life, why are they showing themselves like that? And also sometimes I feel that there is no space. That's another one. And that wherever I go, I'm still in the same place. It's just somehow looks different. So it changes the energy structure, maybe depending on how I feel, how my consciousness feels. Okay, today I'm in the park, today I'm in this flat. 10 years ago I was in another flat. But I strongly feel that all these places, we're actually not moving anywhere. It's the consciousness that changes. It's some sort of an energy direction that changes. And it's like, I don't know, hologram, I don't know what you call it, a projection of energy, which then shows itself like that, and shows itself like that. When we get too dependent on the physical world and too connected with the physical world, we start to really believe this illusion. Start to think, oh yeah, this is my home, I'm gonna go see my friend, and I'm gonna go travel to another country. But are we really traveling? And that's what I mentioned in the previous video. Traveling drives me crazy because I know it's not real. Like, I know I'm just doing it because we're all playing this game that we need to go from point A to point B. Talking about the illusion of life. Recently I was falling asleep one evening, I think it was, in the night. And I was kind of semi-conscious. I don't know why. Maybe I was thinking about something. So I was in and out. And I remember in that dream, I started to have a dream and I was going somewhere. I think it was like a staircase going down and some objects began to appear. And I managed to catch the moment when it started to appear real, when I started to believe in it. And I'm like, wow, I'm in this game, I'm in this dream, this is real happening. And then I pulled myself out of it and I'm like, wait a second. I just remember how I was falling asleep and how these objects, they were not real in the beginning. They were just like consciousness, like energy. So let's say, I don't know, staircase, table, I don't know, a glass of water or something. They began to appear like energy. They were not solid in the beginning in my dream. But as I started playing the game of my dream, I started really believing it became like a story. And I thought, wow, that's incredible. This is what life is. It's not just a dream that is like that. It's life. We believe it. I believe I'm Maria sitting at this table with my teapot talking to you. But I probably just believed very deeply in this game. And that's why I am like this. But can we unbelieve it? And can we uncreate and go back to the level of creation, when there's just energy? And then, for example, enter another game, another type of life, whatever we choose. I think that this rusty feeling when we're very stubborn that yes, we live in this reality, this is planet Earth, this is 2020, blah, 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 Maybe we can go back and back and back and unlock and untie those connections, and maybe suddenly it will be, I don't know, 5,721, and there'll be some sort of unusual woman, space woman, or something like that, or just a craft. We don't know what it is, but I just really want to find out. Maybe in this life, because sometimes I get so utterly bored with this life. Excuse me. I just think, why is it the same every day? And I feel that it's me who have created it, and it's me who is being reluctant and training my head, bigger head, my consciousness to untie my labels so I can see, so I can flow into a completely different reality. So maybe we are in this arcade game together. Maybe we are here until we figure out how to get out of here by changing the way we think and changing the way we see reality. I find that what really helps is talking to friends about this and people who are open to that, who make you feel better, higher, who are very free, very flowy, who like talking about such subjects and who can go deep into it and just less with the head but more with the feeling. I've been lucky, I've had people like that in my life quite a lot, and we've been chatting, and every time I was talking to them, I would feel like, whoa, my consciousness is expanding right here, right now. It's unbelievable. Like, we're both expanding, we're both growing. Finding things in life, like friends, uplifting friends, talking to them, yourself, I don't know, talking to the mirror, going to nature, looking at the sky, just staring at the sky. Anything which takes you out of the mundane, anything which takes you out of your own thinking, of your own planning, excessive planning, that can let this energy, this amazing understanding and revelation about who we are and what we're doing here, it just naturally comes. And I feel it's like a rope. We need to take it, listen to it, feel it, and to grab it more and more and more. And then it starts to come. Once we pull that rope, it does start to come. It's funny. The universe is not mean. The universe is generous, but it's just waiting for us to kind of tap into it and channel. And it's kind of an automatic process. I think when we press a certain button, like remote control, we get it. So we press the button, I want to know about space and time, just naturally from you, universe. Please, I'm open up. And then we start vibrating on that knowledge, start listening to what comes, thinking about it, fantasizing about it. And then the universe thinks, oh, okay, they want this knowledge, we're going to provide more to them. I remember when I was a child, I had this constant feeling that I need to find something out, that there is something else, something really big, and I felt that I was very close to it, extremely close, and tried to explain it, I remember, to my brother. He didn't get what I was trying to say. I said, listen, but I know there is something I need to figure out. And I was like 12 maybe or 15. He said, oh yeah. I find that time sometimes gives us an opportunity to catch it, like carpe diem, like really snatch that moment, catch that moment. And I feel that sometimes there are those opportunities that are like doorways in the time, on our timeline. And this is when the energy goes a little bit higher and we feel that we need to do something and everything just flows in our hands and everything is just very works accordingly. And these are quite precious moments of time. I think they are doorways. I think maybe there's like a big corridor that we're walking, and along the corridor there are many doorways, and when energies connect really well, when they kind of cross the energy of that person, that thought, that circumstance, that background, they all cross in one, boom, then that door opens up and then we can enter it, and that door will lead us to another corridor which will have another set of doors, possibly leading to where we want to be, manifesting something we want to have. But I've been watching those moments and trying to act on the moment, and I've been learning it slowly. When I was younger, I was quite shy, and it was very difficult for me to act on the moment, because I think, oh my God, no, it's embarrassing. Ooh, no, I can't. I'll be rejected. I'll be this. And now I'm trying to learn for the past several years to really catch the moment, whatever it is connected with people, with actions, with myself. And it's almost like giving respect to time, isn't it? Like, okay, time, thank you very much, time. You know who I am, you know what I want, you try to give me something because it's a very kind energy just by default. Time is running, time is flowing, time is giving. So in a way, responding to that energy and doing what time offers, suggests, then shows our appraisal to this energy, right? And then this energy might think, very good, let's continue cooperating together. So this is something to think about, isn't it? It's an energy, it can be impersonated and we can communicate with it, the energy of time. And it can be changed. And I feel that sometimes, yes, we can change the way the day goes by the way we set our timing, in terms of asking for it to go really slowly, to flow slowly, or, if we want to speed something up, maybe. Who knows? We can project our energy into the time and then make certain amendments to it. Maybe you can do this little exercise, it's just coming to me now, with time, write on a piece of paper how you feel about time, what is time for you, how time feels about you, how kind time is to you, when do you feel that you making the most of the time, when you have the most of the time, for example, or when do you feel that you're lacking the time, and what actions on your side produce this effect in your life. So you can make like a little scheme, and it's something interesting to work with. And then you can write asking time about certain things, like, time, why did you give that to me, that experience? What would you like me to do, time, with my life? How do you feel about me, time? That's quite interesting. So imagine time as a person, impersonate it and then communicate with it, and then see what energy comes through. So thank you very much for joining me for a cup of tea today, Shrek cup, and we will be back with more random thoughts. This is a very casual way of talking to each other. Please leave your comments. How do you feel about time? What are your observations, your experiences? any unusual experiences with time. There's a lot more, and I may repeat the subject again. More things will come to me, more memories, and we can discuss it together. So let's stay in touch.